Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wyvern bringing you yet another YouTube video at this time. So basically what you guys see on the screen, zombie dead profile, and we're going to be doing a discussion on it as well. Basically giving you guys more educated, thoughts on the new support that came out. Because I'm sure you guys remember when I did my initial discussion video, I was basically reacting to what I've seen, and I hadn't read the effects prior to that video. So this will give you a more overall thought process as I had time to actually play test and practice with these cards. Alright, so before that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So firstly, we're just going to talk about the new support. I'm sure you guys already know about the Bird Rag and everything else. We're going to just get in depth into the newer stuff and speak to you guys about how they interact with some of the older stuff. Alright, so let's start off with the Zombie Zero, as it has its effects to protect your zombies from battle or card effects by banishing itself from the hand or from the graveyard. Now, to be honest, this is probably my favorite of the new support that came out, because during testing, the effect actually came up so much. Being able to protect your zombies and then special summon himself to the field, as to he's protection and he's a body on board all at the same time. So that's in regards to him being reactive. Now, you can also be proactive by banishing him through probably the best way through my practice is through Sun Saga's effect. The Sun Saga, when synchro with a special summon, can banish a zombie from the graveyard to add its attack to his attack. So Sun Saga will activate its effect, banishing the Zero, and then the Zero will come back because it was banished from the graveyard, and you have 2 level 8s on the field for a rank 8 or a link play, depending on what you want to do at the time. So yeah, so basically that's pretty solid in that regard. Of course, the support is all mediocre, of course, so while it gives it a boost, it doesn't make it overpowered. It just gives it more variety in the plays that zombies can do in general. Alright, so that's that for the most part. You guys know Baladroke, you guys know Jacobulon, you guys know Banshee, of course. It gets us to our zombie world, so that we can start our shenanigans with Baladroke and stuff. Bazookies, of course. Some more of the new support, the Ghost Wyvern, Hellfire Dragon. Now this card in testing turned out pretty well as well, as when it's banished, you can take a level 2 or lower tuner and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So you have options in sending Spectral Sword to the graveyard to set up its graveyard effect. You can also send Crazy Clown to send off its graveyard effect. And lastly, you can send Glow Up Boom to set up its effect while Zombie World's on the field. This special summon a Baladroke, or you can special summon a Zero as well. You can also search the Zero to have some layer of protection on your next turn. Also, you can search Jacobulon, of course, so that it can special summon itself by discarding a zombie. So yeah, this is a pretty decent interaction. Air sets up field presence and also sets up protection for your zombie plays. Alright, Book of Life, of course. Good for turn 2 plays, of course, when you're going off in your wombo combos and your opponent has monsters in the graveyard to banish. Of course, Foolish Burial. Set up plays and your Mizukis and your Banshees to trigger its effect. You can actually send Ghost Spectre to the graveyard to search a Ghost Fusion from your deck to your hand, or for Burial's effect. So yeah, so it has a lot of versatility, of course. Foolish Burial, zombies, best friends, of course. And now Ghost Fusion. Now Ghost Fusion, it's definitely not entirely necessary for the deck. You don't have to run it, as of course Super Poly is a better fusion card to use. But the effect of this that allows you to banish zombies from your deck to fusion summon as well, that actually is pretty good. when your life points are lower than your opponent's. I don't know, I don't think it was entirely necessary, but when you're able to fulfill those requirements, it does do its work when it's able to fulfill those requirements. So, not necessarily called to play, but if you want to play it, you can play it. Alright, so Zombie Reborn. Now, in my initial discussion, I sort of underestimated this card because of the specific requirement of having to banish a zombie of the same name to special summon one zombie from the graveyard, but I was definitely mistaken about that. And what this card gives you an incentive to play multiple copies of cards so that you're able to special summon your zombies and make your place in there. And then this second effect on this next turn can shuffle back the zombies you banished to use this effect to put it back into the deck to set itself again. So it has some pretty decent implications there. I'm glad I was wrong about that. This card is actually pretty solid. So staples, burials, and twin twisters, of course. Call by the Grave and twin twisters, of course you need these. Twin twisters especially as it discards zombies from your hand. A Baladroke or Zombie Mirror, Mizuki, whatever, gets the effect of the graveyard is good while popping your opponent's back row. Of course, Burial from a different dimension. This card is literally Zombie's best friend, as it can literally extend your plays into OTK territory. And of course, the two zombie worlds, making the deck go round, of course. Combo with Baladroke and stuff like that, and even with the trap card, as it allows you to banish from either player's graveyard to summon 2 tokens. Of course, the monster has to have a level in order for you to resolve this effect, so you can banish your monsters from your opponent's graveyard or from yours to set up tokens, and both the tokens have to have the same level, will have the same level as the monster you banish. So of course, you can use this to banish Wyvern and get Wyvern's effect during the end phase while getting 2 tokens. Alright, so some Strike Force staples go into the action deck. Another Soul Dragon for the Ghost Fusion. Shiranui Saga, of course, as this actually is a more heavy synchro-centric deck. So you actually get this effect off, pretty often. Because this deck can combo into a variety of different synchro plays that Sunsaka can use to his advantage, putting them back from either banish or the graveyard back into the extra deck to pop cards on the field. So Red Eye's Zombie Lord. This one special summons a zombie from the graveyard during the opponent's turn, which is kind of weird. I guess, but it can combo with 2 different cards. It can combo with Crow Tenchu to get a pop during special summon, when it's special summon, or if you already have Corpus Dragon or Felgrand set up in the graveyard, you can use that to banish a monster on the field and the graveyard. And also you can, while those cards in the graveyard, you can banish, a zombie you control to special summon itself. So of course you can banish Corpse Wyvern. And of course if you're playing this in the Shiranui build, you can have, there's implications there to banish Shiranuis and get their desired effects and so on and so forth. So, Graceful Maikashi, of course, level 9 Synchro, there's someone from the graveyard, pops a card, and you can banish a graveyard. Yeah, you can banish another zombie to, special summon itself from the graveyard. So, okay. So while it's in the graveyard, you can actually banish Zero to special summon it. Zero will come back as well, and you get a pop off of Maikashi's effect, and also you can banish Wyvern's effect. Banish Wyvern to get its effect as well. So, there's a lot of implications there. Basically, the deck pretty much high fives each other. They all just high five each other, and then just trigger off from one another, which I think is pretty cool about the deck. So as I spoke about, Shogun Saga, of course, banishes to gain attack equal to the monster's attack, banishing Wyvern, and banishing Zero. So Omega, of course, gets back your banished stuff back to the graveyard. You guys already know. Red Eye Zombie Nickel Dragon powers up for each zombie in either graveyard. So of course, with Zombie World, this will get powered up both for your opponent's monsters as well. While it can also special summon zombies when a zombie destroys a monster by battle. So getting these two effects to go off is pretty good. You can get the draw off of it, or you can get another pop while killing something by battle. So Black Rose, blow up the field. Immortal Dragon. Now this was a pretty cool card during my testing as well. So send zombies from the deck to the graveyard to adjust its level equal to the difference. Of course, if you have Zombie World intact, you can send Glow Bloom to special summon a Boulder Rap or whatever it is you want to summon. Just send anything to make the difference. So if you want to set up Mirror's effect, you can set up Boulder Rock's effect, setting up Azuki's effect. You could also set up Ghost Sleeper's effect to get you a search. So on and so forth, like whatever it is you want to set up, this card will allow you to set up for it. Also, its other effect allows it to basically tag in when another zombie is destroyed by battle or card effect, and it will special summon itself from the graveyard. Does it banish it when it leaves the field? Yes, it does banish it when it leaves the field. That's fine, that's usually how it goes anyway. Oh, also, another thing about Zombie Mirror, when this card is special summoned, it doesn't banish itself when it leaves the field, so it can essentially loop into itself. So you can banish, special summon itself, it gets destroyed, it goes back to the graveyard, banish, special summon, so on and so forth. Alright, so next is Undead Vampire. Now this was actually a pretty cool card that came up in my testing as well. As Shiryu Sun Saga and Mirror gets you into a rank 8 play. But of course, as I explained before, Sun Saga banishes Mazira, and Mazira special summon itself, and then you can overlay these two into the Undead Vampire. So, we're not going to use this XZ summon alternate effect. Basically, you can't target this card with monsters special summon from anywhere other than the graveyard. Interesting, non-targeting removal, so that'll stop extra deck monsters from targeting, from the deck, anything from the graveyard. So, alright, so his second effect is you can detach one material to mill up to 4 cards from each player's graveyard. Any monsters that were milled from this effect, you can special summon them to your field. Of course, if you're comboing this with Zombie World, you can special summon from your opponent's graveyard as well. But also with this, you can special summon your graveyard. So if you happen to mill a Sacred Phoenix, Zombie Phoenix, or a Crow Tingle, you can get their effects. And whatever else you might have milled, you can set up, various graveyard effects through that effect as well. So, Vampire Fascinator. This card is link summon. You can target one monster. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field in defense position. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn as zombies. And you can tribute one vampire monster to target one monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end phase. Once per turn, of course. So, of course, we're not using it in the vampire vein. So it'll likely just tribute itself to take control of our opponent's monster, but the first effect specifically what you'll be using it for to take one of your opponent's monsters. And you can also link climb with it into like Absolute Zero like Hashi or something. It's not here in the deck, but you can most certainly link to it off that. Or use it for various synchro plays, since you'll likely have Zombie World on the field during that time. If you have Zombie World on that field at the time, you can use it for various synchros that may require zombies to synchro into, so on and so forth. So there's a variety of things you can use the monster for. Alright, so Sakura, of course, this is literally your go-to link. Go to place for your link. So of course you can use Zombie can essentially be a 1-card link play using Sucker and Valor Jokes for your plays. Send Valor Jokes is in the graveyard. When it comes back during the standby phase, if this is like turn 2, you can use Sucker and Valor Jokes to trigger off effects. As the Sucker will trigger the Valor Joke effect to banish, your opponent's monsters in the field or graveyard and, stuff like that, while giving you a draw off of Sucker's effect. Alright, so side deck options. I was using this for a while. I don't know, it didn't come up enough. Because, it's very specific and, your opponent has to only control the monster. So you can't even use this if you have monsters on the field already. So it essentially becomes a dead card that you have to ditch or discard or whatever the case may be. So it's not really a useful card at all. Gozuki, of course, that's in the vein of anything else. Sending zombies from the deck to the graveyard and banishing from the graveyard to special summoning a zombie from the hand. Of course, Ghost Wyvern and Zombie Zero are your 2 targets for that. Alright, Aloof Lupine. I was just thinking about this one before I started recording this video, as it requires, when it's normal summon, it banishes, in this case, zombie to banish a zombie from the hand to banish a zombie from your deck. So, of course, these 2 effects come into play off that normal summon as well, so it can trigger off their effects. So, Shinobi Necro can be banished from the graveyard to special summon itself. And while it's on the field, if you special summon another zombie from the graveyard, you can draw 1 and discard 1 as well. So Maikashi, the skeletal Maikashi, is level synchro, of course. You can use, Unizombie and Zera or Valor Jokes to synchro summon into it. And of course, if you have Zombie World on the field, Valor Jokes will come back, or if you trigger the requirements for Mizera will come back as well. So, it has some decent implications there. Crossout Designator, or you can use that because with hand traps, of course, the hand trap stops as that cold. You would run this with the hand traps. Of course, you run Ghost Ash Blossom, Veiler, and stuff like that if you want to make this deck compatibly viable, to play against the meta and all that other good stuff. You can play that so that you can play this, so in order for you to get your plays off, as of course this deck is very normal summon reliant, as a single normal summon stop can literally end your turn entirely. So that's why these are definitely necessary for that regard. Alright, Crystal Wing, of course, having that option, having this on the field while you have synchros on the field can add another layer of protection, as it negates targeting effects on your level 5 or higher monsters, and it can also negate a monster effect of a level 5 or higher monster. So, alright, Samurai Saga is just another level 6 option. Same with Revive King Hades. I might actually put this into the main deck just to mess around with. I'm not sure what I'll take out for it. Maybe a copy of another Soul Dragon, as it can, have all your zombies negate effects when they destroy monsters by battle. Stuff like that, floating effects, so on and so forth. Alright, so with all of that said, that is it for the video. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts after taking some time to actually play this. Of course, comments, let me know what you guys think of this more educated discussion in the comments below. Anything you guys want to share, feel free to add those in the comments, and of course, I'll definitely be getting back to you guys. Alright, so I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime, but until then, peace, YouTube.